I grew up in pest control. My father was in pest control before me and I joined the family company. I worked in that company my whole professional life and mainly did termites. I started working with Centricon at the very beginning, doing research and development, and I've used it, ever since. The termite, they're this tiny little insect that causes so much damage, but it all begins with a pair of reproductives mating and starting a colony. That colony grows slowly over time. For the first few years they're quite happy just there, right there where that nest is, but after a few years, the numbers are getting up, the colony is getting larger, they begin to build extensions onto that nest, looking for additional food. And of course, as that network of tunnels grows, they're building it out, radiating out from that colony underground, looking for additional food sources. And so that foraging habit is what we exploit with Centricon. That colony, when it's fully mature, it can have several nests that are connected. It can have multiple reproductive queens operating. It can be covering a huge area of ground and can be attacking several buildings at once. And so as they're foraging from that colony looking for food, they're transporting it back to that centralised nest and feeding the colony with that food. That's what we exploit with Centricon, is that distribution of food, because timber is not easy to digest, and so for termites to digest it, it has to pass through several termites and be broken down over a period of time, and that's what we exploit. So a termite, if you like, has the skeleton on the outside. And so, a bit like a mud crab, to grow they have to periodically molt that skin. And so the adults that eat the Centricon bait aren't affected, but the juveniles as they molt are affected, and so it results in the breakdown of the colony. But that termite colony just continually looks for more and more food and more territory all of the time. If they're tunnelling through the soil and it's a shaded and damp area, then they'll be closer to the surface because they're looking for timber to consume. If they happen to run into a solid object, of course they'll use that. Once they're following a solid object like a tree root or like a foundation or a pipe, they can suddenly go much further, much easier. So what we find in the urban environment is that the termites will forage further than in the natural environment. We help them out with moisture sources along the way, we help them out with drainage and pipes and services that aid the termites and lead them to the structures where the food is. The different termites within the colony have different roles, and so our queen is in there laying the eggs. The worker termites are the ones that are feeding on the timber, causing the actual damage. And the soldier termites are there protecting the colony from other termites and from predators. And then of course we've got the alates, the reproductives that fly off to start new colonies or walk out to start new colonies. All of those termites play a role. So once they begin foraging from that centralised nest, they're communicating with each other with chemical messages that we call pheromones. So just as different parts of our body communicate with other parts using hormones, the termite colony uses pheromones to communicate. It's all highly organised, and so once termites begin feeding on the Centricon, they've literally laid a road and a trail and marked that road and signposted that road to the food. And so they're guiding the other termites to that food. Now once we eliminate termites, of course, we've got to understand that another colony can invade those same galleries and follow those same messages and go straight to the food, and so it's a continuous process.